Alright, I'm here with Action Surge. I'm doing a bonus action. I'm just going to make some maps today, but I'm working on right now I'm working on the setup for the uh, uh, Incarnate is what I'm working on. And so I'm working on the setup for the Streamlabs video to try to get this video going because I don't know how I want to set it up yet. I've never done this before for the map making on here per se. But hopefully everybody can see that okay when they look at the stream. Um, don't know how many people are used to using Incarnate. I'm going to go ahead and let people know that I'm going live here. 1 second. Um, so let me let people know on Facebook first here. Well, see, that don't work. See, look at you can see what I'm typing and everything. That's awesome. All right, so it's time for a bonus action, and we'll do twitch.tv, right? Yeah. Slash action surge 5e. And that should be all we need. And we're going to post that and go back to Incarnate. And then I'll post it on a couple other spots real quick too as well, but I'm going to post them off the stream. Yeah. If anybody's out there watching, I can't tell. I see Fox that Foxzilla. Is that you still there? I see first time in chat. Foxzilla X or Fobzilla X. Fobzilla or Fobzillax maybe? I don't know. How do you say that? Spell it phonetically for me, because I'm, you know, not bright in that regard. All right, so what I'm doing today is I'm working on a map for Saturday's campaign, Soul Survivors. I've been doing several maps lately for that. I'm going to do a mask first. And to make the circle here, the drawing circle, a little bit smaller, I'm going to hit S a few times. To make it bigger, you hit W, but S a few times. Probably right about there's where I want it. Oh, you know what? It might help too is if I go over here, and I think this is it. Yeah, grid tool. If I click on the grid options, whoops, whoo, and show grid, I can change it to a hex grid, which I believe that is the way I want to go. Yeah, yeah, I think that's vertical hex. Vertical hex? Yeah, vertical hex. Um, I think I want to change the opacity a little bit of that though, so it's not as intrusive. And then I go back up here to my mask tool, which is the little shovel, and maybe shrink it down just a hair more. It should be about the size of one of these hexes, I think, but you know what? I think I'm gonna have to make these hexes bigger anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we're gonna get rid of the grid because it does not matter at this point, and I'm gonna have to make the grid to fit the map, not the map to fit the grid. Okay, so if you've never seen Action Surge, we appreciate you stopping by. We have 3 different campaigns right now that I run, and one campaign that Joe Rose runs. The 3 campaigns that I run are No Good Deed, Grim Harvest, and Soul Survivors. I'll tell you a little bit about the campaigns. Uh, Grim Harvest is the one that takes place Friday mornings, um, Eastern Standard Time. So Friday afternoon, evening if you're in the UK. Friday the next day if you're in New Zealand. You know, like whatever. But anyway, so the Grim Harvest campaign. uh, is starts out in the Sunset Vale in Osbraven, and they've just come to discover that somebody was trying to um, blight a tree, and it's this evil Dracolich, obviously that well, obviously he's evil, I guess. But it's this evil Dracolich that basically he wants the forest and the power that the forest has for himself, essentially. Um, and so the characters involved are there to figure out a way to put an end to the blight, as well as figure out what's causing it, and that kind of thing, and thereby combat the Dracolich. They're low level. They can't just fight the Dracolich, and Oberon has met them, and Oberon refuses to interfere as far as humans are concerned. He refuses to get like that personally involved, as he's a god and he's supposed to remain somewhat neutral. Um, but yeah, so he's kind of handpicked these characters though, and said, hey, I can't do anything, but you guys could, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's coming along pretty well, I think. Hmm. I have to make this smaller for this interior part, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this map part here, and I'm making an outline. And this is for my Saturday campaign, as I said, the Soul Survivors campaign. And Soul Survivors is everybody woke up in. Sorry, woke. Wow, everybody woke up. Everybody woke up in, essentially uh, entombed in sarcophagi, and they were, essentially dead. And so they were awakened, and sort of resurrected, so to speak, to combat this ancient evil that has already happened and already is done and past, and they won, and whatever. And so they're trying to figure out, well, like, why were they even resurrected? And so they're thinking, well, maybe it's has something to do with this ancient evil that they fought is coming back again. So um, I can't really divulge too much about it because I don't want to give away the surprises. But anyway, so there's my base landmass. I'm gonna make this a little bit more pronounced, I think. And maybe this a little bit more pronounced too. And that. And this. It's a work in progress. That's all works in progress. Work, right? Um, hang on. I wanted to shout this out to a couple other people too. Um, oh, I wanted to put it in the Discord too. Obviously, like we have a Discord. It's not open to the public just yet, but we may open it to the public, or open just sections of it to the public. Um, and let me go to Gen Chat, and we'll go. I also, since I'm on here, this is a bonus action. This is an open channel on my Discord, so there's no telling who from the cast might join us, if at all. Um, but if they do, that's cool. There might be some of my friends that join us. There might be some people joining us in chat that are just like, hey, whatever. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? Find out on tonight's Dares of Eternity. Oh no, that's a Destiny 2 reference. 1 second, that might be my wife trying to join in. Hang on, 1 second. Eh, just needed a little tech support apparently. Okay, so back to this. What was I gonna do? I was going to go on Facebook and do the thing here. Add a pay account. What? What? to the action search page, leave, and I want to go to discussion stuff. Ah, there we are. I could do live video, but I've heard since if you're a Twitch affiliate that you're not supposed to do live video elsewhere, um, other than Twitch for 24 hours. I'm gonna have to look into that, but I think that's probably true. Um, Makes sense. Um, Seems a little bit rough that you can't double dip or triple dip or whatever, but it also seems very like make logical. Makes a lot of sense. So you know, um, this bottom end of this needs to come up a little bit, and this out like that, like so. And essentially, this is a central plateau of an island. Uh, there is actually a little lake in the middle here. I'm going to make the thing even smaller. And I'm going to zoom in. And I am going to... I probably should change the roughness if I... Yeah. Here, let me make this even smaller. Okay. And there's like a little peninsula out into this little crater lake in the middle of the plateau. And then there's like a little foot that goes this way. Oh, there we go. Actually, doesn't look too bad. All right, and then I don't know what this surface is going to be like since it's a plateau. I think, and there's trees and stuff up there. I think it's just going to be like a, it's in a jungle, so I think it's going to be, jungle-y kind of terrain. Um, but I want to make this even smaller. How small can I make this thing? Okay, let's try that. And we're going to draw a river. It's too wide, isn't it? Nah, that's not too wide. And then this one, even smaller. Little tributary off this river. And even smaller, if we can go that small, I don't know. But we're going to go this little tertiary tributary. And there's another little segment of the river that goes up like this and around. And then another little segment that goes off of there and up and around like so. Yeah, not too shabby. I just subscribed to Incarnate Pro probably 3 or 4 months ago. It's really cheap. It's, well, not really cheap, but it's really reasonable. It's like $4.99 a month. Or you can do like a whole year for a lot cheaper. Oh, a lot less expensive. Sorry, excuse me. Um, since the background down here, okay, there we go. Yeah, yeah. Since the background there is going to be forest floor, I'm going to find me a nice dark forest floor. What's this one here? Dark grass. Forest floor dark. Grass dark. Forest floor dark. Forest floor multicolored. I kind of wanted it dark. What's this? Dark plain grass. Black wet soil. Let's do this. Let's make it, we'll make our cursor really big, our drawing tool. And we'll do like a dark forest floor, right? Oh no, see, I see what I did wrong there, didn't I? That's okay. We can always fix it. That's the great thing about computer art. It's really easy to erase. Um, so, especially if you save off in here, I should probably do that now. Control S. We're going to call this Central Plateau. If you've never seen this channel before, I don't even know if anybody's watching at this point, but oh, two viewers. Okay, so looks like maybe Fobzilla, you're still watching. If you've never seen this channel before, feel free to pass it on to other people. Like I said, we do 3 campaigns. I'm working on something for the Soul Survivors campaign. I forgot to mention the third Well, I do 4 campaigns. Sorry, I do 3. Um, the fourth one is done by Joe, but I'll tell you about that one in a second. But the third one I do is on Sundays, afternoons, Eastern Standard Time. Starts about 3:30 ish, and it is called um, No Good Deed. And essentially, it is it is how do I explain it? So they started off on a spell jamming vessel, I guess, an island in space in the Tears of Saloon in the Forgotten Realms, known as the Rock of Brawl. If you're familiar with Spelljammer, you might be familiar with the Rock of Brawl, um, but you may not. Um, the biggest thing about it is they all woke up in prison and don't know how they got there. Turns out mind flayers had um, attacked them and basically kidnapped them, and we're going to use them as hosts for um, mind flayer tadpoles. Like they were going to implant them and turn them into mind flayers essentially. The Elven Armada had found the mind flayer ship and was going to destroy them along with the ship, and decided that one of their ambassadors, they had an emissary on board that was a human, and decided to take them to the Rock of Brawl to be quarantined in prison, and that's where they all woke up. So they basically figured their way out of prison because they didn't escape. They were basically just past quarantine, and they were able to leave, and it was kind of an overdue type of thing, and so they got to go and do a couple things on the island there on the Rock of Brawl, up in the Tears of Selune. Selune, I guess is how you pronounce it. Always call her Saloon. Um, but anyway, so then they now have passage back to Toril on a spelljamming ship, and we're gonna see the next time, which will be not this coming Saturday or this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. We should see what's going on with that. Um, then our Saturday night campaign is Joe Rose, and he is running a campaign called Wilder Beyond the Witchlight, and it is essentially Wild Beyond the Witchlight with quite a few additions slash changes, etc. This is called Forest Floor? Yeah. Why is that so bright? Small debris. Forest Floor multicolored. Let's do this. Ooh, my opacity's a little heavy duty. Um, I think for this map, I think what we're gonna do is take those the outer glow that it has there, and we're going to change the outer glow. How do I do that? Advanced settings. Like I said, I'm relatively new. So outer shadows here. So we're going to go to there. I'm guessing it's white, but we're going to change it to black. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I wonder if there's a way I could turn the inside outer shadow to black and the outside out. Anyway, stroke is kind of big, but make it a little bit bigger, I guess. There's 2, and then we'll make the outer shadow. Okay, so We can increase the intensity. Oh, too intense, too intense. Maybe that's not intense enough. Increase the distance. Maybe. More? More. There we go. Getting better. There we go. And then we're going to make the blur all the way up. So it'll like be soft at the edges. Increase the intensity by a little bit at a time. That should be good. I think someone's messaging me. Hold on 1 second. I think on Facebook I've got a lot of groups and pages and so on and so forth that I have to that I interact with. You know, apparently I can't follow my own page. I don't know why it's even offering me the option to, but you know, whatever works, I suppose. There's that. Oh, you know what? I'll notify the group. I still didn't do it in Discord. There we go. Action Search Casting members. There we go. And I have a DM for hire page. I do paid DMing on the side too, so that's, you know, like if I can. Anyways, it helps with doing this kind of stuff and making stuff for Roll20 and that kind of thing. Okay, so back to this. I'm going to go back to my paintbrush and get this forest floor dark color. Change the opacity up a bit. Probably shrink it down by a little more than half. And then start edging this in a little bit here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so just to change it up a little bit. Let me zoom out a little bit. Space bar. This is an important thing when you're using Inkarnate. If you hold the space bar, you can grab the map and drag it anywhere on the thing. That took me a while to figure out. It was a big pain in the butt. Even though it probably says, like, see where it says shortcuts. If you hit show keyboard shortcuts, it says somewhere in there. Let's see, panning spacebar. See, for those of you who don't like to read instructions, you know, it might take you a minute to figure it out. Oh no, no, stop! And do some color variation. Oh, you know what else we could do? We could do go back to open the catalog and find another dark green color variation with some texture. Hybrid grass or plain grass. Alright, we're gonna make this thing bigger again. And give it a little texture. Notice I'm only at like 0.32 opacity, so it won't like overpower some of the stuff I've already put on there. You know, I gotta be real careful about how much I put on there, because I don't want it to overpower the rest. Okay, then I'm gonna switch to foreground. We'll do the forest floor up on here. We'll do this like so, kind of. Start to. I'm still at that low opacity though, the 0.32. I don't know. You know, you can mess with it and figure out the different opacities and what they do for, you know, your art, your map making tools and such. Um, used to using like Photoshop and stuff like that, so um, it can be useful that way. This, that, a little bit of that. Oh, look, see, it warns you. You may have a lot of changes. You may consider saving your work. Okay, I will do that. Ghost Street Stones? What's it say? Grass Patches Alpha. Okay. I don't know, but we're going to use some of these Grass Patches Alpha and throw them in here. Give it a little bit of texture, maybe. Multiple colors on a map. You know, especially if you want something that like looks, you know, somewhat uh, Google Earthy or just pretty. You know, multiple green colors for like green areas help a lot to me. Um, I'm gonna go over here. I'm just clicking everywhere. I'm not actually holding the mouse button down. I'm just clicking, clicking, clicking. Click, 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 click. You know, all that good stuff. Yeah. So, um, I'm surprised nobody from Action Surge has jumped in here and said, "Hey." James from Action Surge, one of my players. He was in here yesterday, and we were talking about all sorts of D&D stuff. One second, I gotta get another drink of coffee. Much better. Um, Back to this catalog because I've seen these water things, these water ripples. If I zoom in, I go back to background. If I go like this, will I put the ripples in there? Oh yeah, it kind of does. Yeah. There is different water textures that kind of work maybe a little bit better than this. These like little cartoony ripples. What you can do is you can go to Open Catalog, and you go to Fantasy Battle Maps also, and then there's some looks like water, yeah, but oh, this looks like water too. Oh, blue fey grass. Okay, well, but what I am looking for is right. There's ice, winter texture, snow. I mean, there's another water texture. I thought it was in this one. Ah, there they are. See. So you get like a watery, textury look. Yeah, that's much better. Let me put the opacity back up to 1. We'll just go. That looks a lot more like water to me. Spacebar. I imagine here at the end where the I'm going to use the arrow, I guess, because this here is probably a waterfall down into the jungle below. It's this big, basically what it looks like to me in my mind is like a big mesa type thing, big mesa plateau, where the jungle has overgrown the top of it and such, and probably grows down the side of it a lot too, like, you know, vines and trees and whatever. But there's probably some ways up and down, you know, from the ground that are easier to do than just like climbing the side of a vertical cliff. But I imagine that there's probably a waterfall on one side here, probably right there. I was gonna ping it. I'm too used to using Roll20, I guess. Uh, okay, so I'm gonna go back to my stamps and open the catalog. I'm gonna put in mountains, mountain. No, terrain. There we go. We'll just click on that. There we go. Brown Hill Composites. Big cliffs. Oh, okay. So maybe I need to do Fantasy Regional HD. What does that show me? Parchment World. Okay, so here, let me see what I got here, because I wanna. There's some mountains that go around this area. I'm not sure what I want to do just yet, though. Um, Mountains large, mountains small. Hmm. I believe this is just a ridge. So what I'm looking at here is basically a ridge around this crater lake. So I don't think they'd be mountains per se. It's just basically where an asteroid hit, or a meteor, like a large asteroid or meteor, or whatever they call them when they enter the atmosphere. I think when it's in space, it's an asteroid, and when it hits, it's a meteor. Oh, I think my wife is going to come down here and ask me some questions. So hold on 1 second. Be right back. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go with these here. They're a bit too big, but we're going to shrink them down a little bit. And hopefully I can make them the right size. I don't know how far I can shrink them to where they look. Oh, I can shrink them super tiny. Okay, so let me make them a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. And we're going to go around a little bit smaller than that. Zoom in so we can see what we're doing. Grab that spacebar again thing that I told you. Centralize that a little bit. So yeah, it's supposed to be where an asteroid hit, or a meteor. I mean, but you know, like it's supposed to have left a big crater, basically. So trying to make it out to be like a crater. May consider saving my work. Oh no! What if I don't want to save my work? Okay, this is basically a big ridge around the crater lake. Probably even the inside of that crater might be a little bit of a darker color. Let's go back to the foreground. A little bit more lush jungle where the water is gathered and such. Um, we're going to zoom back out. Make this a little bit. Oops. Still got the opacity on. Control Z is our friend. Turn the opacity back down to like half. Make this part a little bit darker because it's along the river, and say like the river has helped the jungle grow. You know, these areas over here need to be a little bit darker. This area up here for some reason is a little bit darker because there's some trees up here. This area down here. Ah, okay, so there's a bridge. I see there's like a bridge coming into the central plateau at the bottom. Let me see if I can find a bridge. That should be relatively easy to find, I think. Bridge. Bridge. Oh. Watercolor battle maps. Is there more bridges? Fantasy World? That's it? Where are my bridges, man? Oh, okay. Maybe I get rid of terrain too. Oh, there we are. There's some bridges. Okay. Bridges. Wooden bridges. See, I would think it's a small, thin Indiana Jones type rope, wood rope bridge type thing. Move this down here. We're gonna zoom in, and then this is going to get turned this way and get stacked up this way, and so on. And then that's all I'm going to leave it as right now because I don't really know where it goes to off the top of my head. And then we're going to go grab some trees. Trees, man, trees. So get rid of that. Let's just go to trees. Trees, man. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this and that. And that. And that, maybe? I don't know. So a lot of the trees we've been using is like this here. Summer trees makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Okay, so what happened there? Something on the map. It looks a little weird. Huh. Wonder what that is there. If there is something there even. No, I guess not. Just looks strange. Okay, so make my trees a little bit bigger. Because we're just basically showing a treed area. So, oh, this might be too big. Okay, so there's a little clearing in the middle. Little clearing at the middle. Now this should all technically probably be mostly trees up here, but what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of give it the hint of trees. Just so you know that even though that there's a lot of trees, this is like the areas that it's really thickly wooded. That kind of thing. This is a kind of an overland map, and one hex is about a mile. So that crater is probably 6 miles across or something like that. So something to keep in mind when you're making maps like this. Scale can be important. Uh-oh. Wow, I got a little crazy with them trees. Get crazy with the cheese whiz. Or the trees whiz. I don't know. Alright, well, I needed to do, there's like a ravine. Not sure how to do this ravine thing. Oh, you know what? I also need to go back to here to my masking tool. Go to add. Get rid of some of this here. Go to subtract. Make it really small. And just go like so. And like so. There we go. That's more like it. And then I need to do the ravine, which, you know what? I think I will go and make the ravine like so. Right? That's much too big, but that's okay. I'm going to fix that in a minute. And we'll shrink some of that, subtract, or add back land back to it. Make this smaller. Best way to make it small fast is just hold the key that you want to make, the one that you want it to do. Like S key is make small and W key is make it bigger. I don't know why exactly, but maybe it's just wide and small. I don't know. Wide and short. I don't know. Okay, and then we'll go back to subtract. Okay, so here's the ravine. At least it looks like a ravine. Maybe I should refer to what the map is. I got to do some stuff that is not fun. I got to do some adulting type stuff here in a minute. So I'm going to have to leave this stream thing here in a minute. But I thought that everybody would like to see some of this bonus action stuff going on, and we're going to use this. We're going to zoom way in. We're going to use this, turn it a little bit, and boom. And shrink this a little bit. Go to boom. And we're going to take this one and we're going to turn it around. Make it bigger. Put this one right here. You can also move stuff with the arrow keys, like so. You can turn it with the greater than, less than keys, or comma and period in this case. But I like to think of them as the greater and less than keys because they look like a little bit like arrows, you know, that are turning. So so if you've never used Inkarnate before, that's very helpful to know what keys do what. I mean, I do a lot of it with the mouse, but it's also very helpful to know what keys do what. You can also shrink with the corner of the box a lot of times. You can also grow with the corner of the box a lot of times, which in this case I think I'm going to grow it even bigger. Just slide it over here like so. And make this like kind of big and flip it around. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Just a hair. There is ways to just change it a little bit by intervals. So that's something to keep in mind too. Yeah, you can just go back here, and if you see something that you want to change a little bit, and you want to rotate a little bit, you can just rotate it just a slight bit. This one I'm going to make a little bit bigger too. Move it down. And I think what we're going to do is, once we're using this ravine here, I think we're going to make like the whole ravine. It's just there's no river at the bottom as far as I understand, but whoop, wrong way. So we'll probably do that. Put something like that in there. Flip it around a bit. Shrink it way down. Shrink it. Shrink it, shrink it. Oh, flip it all the way around. Move it up. Will we move it on up? Yes, I'm a little crazy. Anybody who knows me is like, dude, he is so understating right now. Oh, I need to be bigger. Yeah, I got some friends going to Gen Con tomorrow that I'm pretty excited for and jealous of, but it's what it is. Not everybody gets to go to Gen Con. But that's okay. Hopefully we're gonna plan on me going next year if all else does not fail. pretty good, I think. Anybody out there still watching? Oh, no, one viewer. It's probably me. Okay, I don't know. There was 2 viewers at one point in time. I'm just too quiet. You know what I need is I need some background music, right? Put some in roll 20. Here, let me do that real quick. I'll make a roll 20. And just go into the Soul Survivors campaign because that way, dun, 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 you can hear this cool music we got going on. It's Kevin MacLeod, by the way, from Incompetech. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. We should be able to hear it in here. There's some tribal music. It's pretty cool. There we go. Put you in the mood for being in the jungle, right? Alright, so where was I? Flipping the... Oh, can't do that. Oh, let me zoom out. Grab my... Uh-oh, what happened there? Oh, we don't like me apparently.
What is a bonus action?
A bonus action is...
And I don't mean the mechanic, I mean the thing.
What?
I don't mean the mechanic, I mean the thing you're about to do.
Oh, okay. A bonus action is just me doing bonus content for Action Surge stuff. Right now, I am doing a map making thing on Incarnate on the channel. So yeah, that's James. You guys are hearing right now.
What's up, everybody?
So James is one of my players in No Good Deed. He's one of the people that are up on the Rock of Brawl. Well, his character is. His character is Cutler the Wall Colton, and he is a Dragonborn pirate. No, a Dragonborn. He is a pirate, but what is he? A Dragonborn barbarian, right?
Barbarian Path of the Giant on Arthurcana, yep.
Yeah, Path of the Giants. Yeah, so you guys can check that out on the Google Calendar somewhere if you guys have access to that. I don't know if anybody's watching at this moment, but maybe somebody will watch the replay. So you guys can always go check out the calendar on the replay. So there. So there. So what you up to, James?
I'm watching it. Nothing much, just eating breakfast and saw you were doing something. I'm like, oh, I'll hang out with him. My girlfriend's about a week yet.
Yeah. And then I got to do some adulting here in a minute, but I got too much adulting. But I thought I'd try to finish up this part of the map at least for a little bit here.
What's this a map for?
It is a map for the Soul Survivors campaign. That's why we're hearing the Soul Survivors music in the background. The Kevin MacLeod tribal music from what you want to call it. You know what? I wonder if there's a way to flip this. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so let me flip it that way. Nope. Wrong way. That way. There we go. Almost like teeth.
So you've used Incarnate. Have you used any other map making tools at all?
I also have Campaign Cartographer 3.
Okay.
And I've done quite a bit of stuff in Dungeon Draft. Not Dungeon. Dungeon Fog. I do have Dungeon Draft, but I haven't used that as much. Hang on, let me get this thing. I don't know why this is. Okay, there we go. But yeah, Dungeon Fog I've used quite a bit.
Because the only one I've really experimented with is Arkenforge.
Oh, Arkenforge. Okay, yeah. I haven't really.
And also a friend of mine made a small little like continent map for me using Wonder Draft.
Ah, yes, Wonder Draft. I've done a little bit in Wonder Draft, which is very close to Dungeon Draft.
They're made by the same exact.
Like the mechanics, you know. Like,
they're made by the same exact company. That's why.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Wonder Draft, Dungeon Draft. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
so that's our ravine. I think that's pretty good for a ravine.
Yeah.
And then I'll make a I'm gonna take the bottom layer there and make it a dirt color rather than a water color, because I don't want water. I want just dirt. It's you don't fall and hopefully get lucky and live at the end. Like, you need Indiana Jones. You fall and you die. That's how that works.
Right.
Don't fall into the ravine. That's how that works. It's a bad idea. Anyway, so I'm going to zoom out and you guys can see. Well, actually, let me do fit to screen. Is that? Yeah, fit screen. And then you guys can see where I'm at with that. And
Mind if I do a shout out to somebody to kind of get them maybe a little bit more traffic?
sure.
Since he mentioned dying, guys, if you want to make your combats a little bit more interesting, I would highly recommend the Kickstarter has ended, but I think it's up for pre-order. You can go check out Injuries and Vile Deeds by Lone Colossus Games. I have backed them. I've looked at the playtest material, and it looks pretty promising.
All right. Now, that means,
I'm
that means
playtesting it on my home
we have
games.
to use it on Action Surge as a test run. And
If you want to do that, I'd be more than happy to
kill
share
all
it.
of you. Oh wait, no, sorry.
If you want to do that, I'd be more than happy to share the PDF with you, man.
Yeah, I might be able to do that. I might, or I just might go back it too. So that might be, you know, something to do. There is a thing on this map, real quick, that I got to take care of, and I think it is. Oh, see, I didn't see that. Okay, so in the middle where this crater lake is here, go back to subtract.
It's amazing.
And then what we need to do here is I need to get rid of this island tip here. Stop it. There we go. No, maybe a little bit more. There we go. And then there's actually a little island out in here on the lake, and I didn't see that.
Oh shoot, that's cool.
It's up there. And then what I need to look at though is there's a I believe right next to the lake is a little village, but I want to see what's on the island if there's anything like, you know.
So are you creating this map from something that already exists, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I can't really divulge what I'm creating it from. Some people that are really experienced with it might already know, but I mean, this is a central plateau of a jungle. That's basically just like a gigantic mesa plateau type thing where the jungle is overgrown and such. But
Yeah, I get it. It's part of a campaign. You can't divulge what it is.
yeah, because I don't want them to be like, hey, you know, not that they would go and look and metagame.
Yeah, I get it.
But I just want to.
You want to keep the mystery alive. I got you.
Gotta have the surprise for the people watching too, you know. So where is that central plateau? Look for central plateau. Okay, there it is.
So I have to ask you about the Twitch server. Are you planning on putting any custom emojis or anything like that?
There are some for the tier things. I need to put some freebie ones, but I haven't done them yet. But yeah, there are some ones you can get as like a subscriber.
Okay, I see. You put them up finally.
Yeah, but there's not many yet. Okay, so four right there. Right here is the village. I wonder if there's a little village token. Probably is. Probably something in on one of the things, definitely. So what I'm gonna do is village. Get rid of the terrain. Search for village. Nothing there. Got
Excuse me.
The other stuff here. Region.
It looks friggin' amazing, though. I will give you credit for that.
I'm gonna go with this one here. This little tiny village. Oh, that's huge. Okay, make it strong. Make it smaller. Woo. We're gonna tip it sideways too.
That's a neat little village.
Yeah, I know, right?
Now, something I'm interested to know about Incarnate. When you zoom in, does it like get blurry as hell, or does it actually like try to match the good resolution?
It depends. You can save it at different resolutions. They have a 4K option that's in beta now too. But I'm gonna zoom in on this village here, and it's kind of a little bit blurry because it's so small. Because I made it so small. But if I was in the 4K option, I imagine it'd be a little bit clearer.
That's even clearer than what I had with Wonder Draft. Not that Wonder Draft's a bad tool; it's amazing. It's just it's better for like far out because if you start to zoom in, it starts to get really blurry.
Yeah, and then so what I was going to say though is to give you an idea. This crater right here is probably about 6 miles across.
Oh wow!
So this central plateau is pretty huge.
I think I know what that is. Are you streaming your whole screen right now, or just this window?
Just this window basically.
I message you and see if I'm right.
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if I am or if I'm wrong. I just have a funny feeling.
So yeah, I made also this chat area on Discord. So if people like see me online or whatever, and I was doing a bonus action, that they could get in here and chat with me like this, like they're doing now, and maybe talk about whatever other things
Yeah, make it more interesting.
they want to talk about and stuff. And if
Yeah.
it has something to do with the stream or somebody else's stream that is relatable, or like that Kickstarter, anything that has to do with D&D 5e is probably
So since we're
welcome.
open to that, we could talk about the Kickstarter a little bit more.
Sure, I suppose, yeah. We don't have a
What-
Kickstarter for Action Surge yet, though, so
No, eventually that would be cool, but right now, no.
But
but
we
the
would like for honestly, we would like sponsors and stuff like that, or people who are willing to do the Patreon or whatever. So there's that stuff. But what's the so tell me a little bit more about this Kickstarter.
So the Kickstarter is called Injuries and Vile Deeds. It is a system for injuries in 5th edition, and the guy who created it, I don't remember his last name, let me go to the Kickstarter page here and look it up. His first name is Josh, I know that for a fact. But he created it, and he's been kind of exploring it on his own time for a couple of years now. He gave the backers the playtest. The Kickstarter has already ended, but the pre-order is up now. And it introduces a little bit more deadliness to combat that otherwise doesn't feel like it's there. So if you've played 5th edition long enough, you know at higher levels of play, combat just kind of starts to become not really a challenge anymore. Right?
Yeah.
And what this system does, it introduces it's actually two systems technically. One injury system for the players, where there's a table that the DM rolls on if they suffer an injury, and it's based off thresholds, right?
Right.
And then the system for the players is based off, like, do you want to target its mobility, its special mobility, so if it's got, like, teleports based on it or whatever. Do you want to target its attacks or its special attacks, so like a dragon having a breath weapon? Do you want to target its defense? The players actually kind of get to call what they want to target, whereas to make it feel like the DM isn't targeting them, it's randomized, which I like that, because I've tried systems of my own that aren't random, and yeah, it tends to piss players off.
Yeah, I can see how that could happen.
The way it works, it's based off a threshold system.
Smaller one. Okay, so there we go.
That actually looks really cool.
So anyway,
I'm watching the stream.
That's our map for now, basically. I think I'm going to do a little bit more jungle florage type of thing on my...
Check my question to you in DMs and tell me if I'm right.
In DMs in Discord, right?
Yeah.
Yes. They already know that. It is in Chult. Yes. It is, they already know about that. So.
I could tell by the design you were going for. I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah, it's actually on an island off the southern coast of Chult. But
Nice.
It's still considered part of Chult.
So I have the PDF open, and what I like about it is it's, like I said, two different systems, right? But it's based on thresholds. So in my home game that I'm running called The Darkened Haven, it's a grim and gritty kind of world.
Right.
And the players, the book recommends to not use the injury system unless at least one player has 50 maximum hit points, or until no character has fewer than 25 maximum hit points. We just landed up leveling up to level 3, and all of my characters have at least 25 hit points. Yay. So, last session we had, before we implemented this, we all agreed we're going to implement this next session in my home game. One of my players, they were fighting like a bandit group, and the bandit group had an ogre who was a blacksmith in their employment. Well, the bandit leader was not very strong. He was more of a tactical and cunning kind of leader, right? The party managed to kill the leader. The ogre saw. The ogre was, let's just say, furious.
Right.
And decided to start throwing javelins at my players. One of my it rolled crits, by the way. 2 rounds in a row it rolled crits, and I'm just like, oh god. Anyway, one of my players, who's the only like healer in the group, landed up suffering a crit from this javelin for 21 points of damage.
Okay.
And if they had been at the...
So does that mess with their threshold, the amount of damage?
Yes.
Okay.
So the way it works for the players, there's 4, technically 5, but 4 really, because lethal is like bad. There's like 5 stages of injury: setback, dangerous, handicap, deadly, and lethal. And you check the damage to the thresholds. They suffer an injury to the highest possible threshold that you met. So let's... Yep. So let's say, for example, I would have done 40 damage, right? This player already had 25 or more hit points. So I would go to the max HP of 25 here, and if I would have did 40 hit points, that would have been a handicap injury. So looking at the table, I'm going to roll a d10 real quick. Where is my dice? There it is. I had rolled a 9, right? So on the handicap table, a 9 is failing vitals. If they fail their saving throw, the death saving throw, on any result lower than a 16, and their death saving throw failures do not reset when healed. Instead, resetting with a short rest. So that's kind of interesting. But in another thing I did, I kind of rolled just to see the 21 damage I would have did, and they suffered a setback. And there's a lot of different options, and it's interesting. I personally feel like maybe as a DM I'd add to these tables a little bit, because I think at some point having the same thing repeat over and over would kind of get a little bit stale.
Yeah.
But again, this is just a playtest.
I use critical role tables too, like critical.
And he mentioned those, and something he mentions is that
I need to add to those. I think too, like
yeah. And again, this is just a playtest, so there's highly a possibility that there's more tables in the actual book, because this is just a playtest. I think he said something about the actual books is going to be like almost 200 to 300 some odd pages, something like that.
Yeah. I know that the ones I use are D20 tables, and it's pretty cool because D20 makes it easy, but easier to look up. So, but I think I would like to have like 2 or 3 different tables for each thing, to where I can pick one. You know, like maybe, or actually, if you did it like a D, you can do a D3, but if you did 4 tables for each thing, then you can roll a D4 and then just pick randomly. You know, again, you know.
Yeah,
it's one extra roll. Whereas if you have a D100 table, then you're like looking at
nuts.
so much to wade through.
Honestly, that's one reason why. That's the only thing that makes me hate Wild Magic. I love Wild Magic other than that, right? Like, Wild Magic is one of my favorite things as a DM and also as a player. But the Sorcerer's Wild Magic table is just way too random. A lot of the effects are horrible compared to the good ones. Like, the good ones are not balanced compared to the bad ones, right?
Right.
And it's 100 different possibilities or something like that. It's too much. And it's like, I get the theme of it, but I think if I was to create a Wild Magic Sorcerer, like on my own, I'd probably have it be like maybe 2d20 instead of a d100, because a d100 is just nuts.
Yeah.
Very few things need a d100.
Well, I like the Wild Magic table having that many, just so it's random. But you know, again, you could do 5 d20 tables.
Yeah.
And roll like a 1d4, and then have one of the tables. If you roll whatever, you roll on the 5th. And have them be different variances of severity.
I think instead of doing 1d4, what I would do is 1d6, and a 6 you just re-roll until you get like a 1 through 5.
Right.
Because otherwise it's kind of hard, because how do you get the 5th table if you have a d4?
Right. Well, that's why I was saying you could just do like have like, if you roll like a 20 on the 4th table, you just go to the and have
I see what you're saying.
Or different severities for each
okay,
table.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, that is kind of cool. I like that.
Like have the 5th table be like a lethal table or something, maybe.
Yeah. And I love
table
the
of lethality.
I actually love the idea of this bonus action stuff because it also allows, like, if you wanted to, your other people in the cast to go ahead and be like, hey, I'm going to stream something D&D related. Can I do it in bonus action?
Yeah, I don't see that would be a problem. The only thing is then you know I have to set up the stream, so
Fair.
it still comes down to dark ground. That's a little bit darker than the other color.
Well, I mean, unless you teach them how to do it and send, like, the stuff, right?
Yeah,
you know they're part of your cast. Yeah, you know we signed all the stuff, so it can be easily... Sorry about the phone ringing.
That was good.
Important.
I didn't even
well,
hear it.
Well, damn, okay, my mic must be good, but not that good. I appreciate that, actually.
So, let's see. I'm gonna put a bigger shadow thing around this thing too. Where's the
That looks really amazing.
outline? Can be 2.
Yeah, I'm currently the only person watching.
Yeah, that's okay. I didn't do it to get necessarily viewers, but I just did it to have something on the stream,
Fun,
you know, once in a while. So, because like, you know, sometimes if there's not something on the stream, then it can be an issue. I think.
Yeah. So, what was the first bonus action you did?
I did a interview type thing with Richard and all the people that were in the Midnight's Odyssey cast, who are now no longer in the Midnight's Odyssey cast because Scott got ill. So they are moving to my Saturday group, this Soul Survivors group, which is this map here is part of one of the Soul Survivors maps.
So, how big is your Soul Survivors now?
It is 5 players. It was 6. So here is the island that they're on. Here, let me put the GM overlay up past the road way down so not everybody sees what's everywhere.
Right.
But this is the island that they're on. I made this map
Well,
a while ago. But this is
wow.
But this is the island that they're off the southern coast of Chilton there.
Nice.
They are down here in a little village called Aranoat, and they went over here recently. Here, let me get rid of the Trevor. They went over here recently, and they encountered a pirate map. And for the pirate map, I actually used where's that? Pirate Slayer. So for the pirate map, I actually used this map here. And this map here was done by somebody entirely different. Oh no, I don't remember who it was, but I said it on the stream. Whoever did the map, and
Yeah.
So I hadn't done the map myself yet, but somebody else had done a map, and I thought it was really good, so I used theirs. Let me see if I move it. Does it say somewhere? No, of course not. Bloop. Just Control Z is your friend. Anyway. Yeah, and then they did another one. They did a couple other maps. So they did the Racosta camp here. This map here,
Yeah.
right? Which is really good. I like the map, but what I did is I did my own just recently. Here we'll throw it up here real quick and take the dynamic lighting off of it. Dynamic lighting off. And I probably have to change the size of this, I'm pretty sure, but here's the Racosta camp that I did.
A blank white. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, it's loading. I did this on the Incarnate also. I could probably load it on Incarnate faster actually. Hit save on that. Go back to this. So here's the Racosta camp. I'll zoom in a second here.
So is Incarnate a monthly membership or is it like a one-time deal?
There's a monthly subscription fee or a yearly subscription fee, which is a little bit cheaper, but I'm doing the monthly rate at the moment. But yeah, there's my Racosta camp, and if you just compare the two side by side, it's kind of an interesting.
It's pretty close.
Comparison to view.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I like it.
So yeah, so there's that, and then
I will say, when I first saw your version, that one hut kind of looks like a mimic swallowing something.
yeah. So what they are is that they were actually on the Incarnate. They're considered orc huts, but this is out in the jungle. I figured, using mammoth tusks for their tents would not be something tiger/lion people. They're not lion people. They're not Leonin. but they're not tabaxi either. They're Rakasta, which is, you know, kind of like I guess tabaxi would be best described as the cheetah leopard variety. Leonin
It's
would
more
be
like panther, though.
Leonin would be like lions, and
Yeah.
Rakasta would be more like the jaguar tiger variety.
Okay.
So I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, but Rakasta are also from Greyhawk originally, so they're not technically canon for Forgotten Realms. However, there's been plenty of canon where things come over from other worlds and stuff.
The realms, yeah.
So, we'll make that 20.
I mean, heck, Leonin technically started off as a Magic the Gathering crossover.
Oh, okay.
Before-
Yeah, that makes sense. And the Loxodons too. You know, the Loxodons.
Yeah, so like
And the Loxodons
that's just
are not necessarily native to Forgotten Realms. I don't think either. So.
and then like another good example, right, is the GIF and the Haduzi and all that were in North Arcana and that we're probably going to get in the Spelljammer book when it comes out. Those were other worlds. Dragonlance was other worlds, and races from that made it over. So like, yeah, things transfer all the time.
Yeah, this is kind of fun here to mess with. You do the animated fire.
Oh, that's cool.
It's cheesy, but it's a cartoon. But I do have some animated fire tokens that actually look really good. That are
I'm guessing animated tokens are.
spells. They're for spells.
Yeah, I guess animated tokens are plus membership thing.
You just buy them in the marketplace. Animated portal.
Now, things you buy in the marketplace, do those take up part of your storage or no?
I don't know. It's a good question. Here we go. Here's a fireball. Ba-ba-ba. Now the fireball's obviously too big for the campfire, but shrink it down.
Not really. That's actually quite nice.
Shrink it down. What is it? What is it? Is it shift? Yeah. No, shift is no, it's alt. There we go. Alt makes it retain its shape.
Nice. I knew Alt for when moving it allows you to put it anywhere.
Alt makes it so because normally if you don't use Alt, it snaps to a grid.
Yeah.
But if you hold Alt, it'll retain its shape, and if you hold Alt, you can put it wherever. It doesn't just snap to a grid, you know?
That's nice.
You know, like that. So, and it'll stay wherever you put it. So there. And then what we can do is we can take that.
And put it on the campfire.
This went from Incarnate to Roll20.
Yeah.
So just make it emit light. Make it 30 and 30 for
Yep.
bonfire.
Yeah. I know Roll20 has a yearly membership option.
Yeah, that's why I have a pro membership on Roll20. It's $100 a year.
Yeah.
Dynamic lighting back on, and boom, there you go. We got a nice little campfire thing going on.
Eventually, when I get Roll20 Pro, you're going to have to teach me some stuff.
Oh yeah, more than willing. I make videos about it here and there from time to time. So yeah.
Because I know dynamic lighting and all that stuff is a freaking pro feature.
Yep. Okay, so we're back to this saved. All right, so that's our map, the Central Plateau. I will probably maybe do another bonus action tomorrow if I can, but I'm going to hop off here and do that adulting stuff that I have to do. It's about mileage. It's about mileage, which I hate doing, but you know, hey, it's something you gotta do, right? Adulting is something we gotta do. So yeah, this is very cool. I am making a map pack for this adventure. I'm going to sell it under my company, Dark Elf Designs, and I am going to see about putting it on Roll20 as a marketplace map pack purchase for like $4.99, something like that for all the maps. And honestly, there's 1, 2. Hang on, I'll tell you how many maps there are. 3.
You've been doing this for 4 hours already?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 maps. One of them I haven't done. Oh wait, sorry, 12. I meant to say 13 maps, and one of them I haven't done, which is a large continent, because the continent is a Greyhawk continent, so I don't have to worry about that. Um,
Yeah.
but I may include it just in the map pack, just in case somebody's playing Greyhawk, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so before I do the adulting, hold on, wait. Before I do the adulting thing, I wanted to put the grid back on. Show the grid. It's going to be hex size. It's going to be vertical hexes. Why is it?
So before you end the stream real quick, something I actually find interesting, right? Hexes. Do you feel they're better than just a square grid?
I don't think of them in terms of better or worse. Hexes are more accurate for measurement, because if you measure square corner to corner and you measure it as 5 feet, you're losing.
Mhm.
You're actually losing 2 feet.
Really?
Yeah. So like from the center of a square to the center of a square on Roll20, for instance. Here, let me show you here real quick. The center of the square is, 5 feet vertically,
Yeah.
5 feet horizontally, but also 5 feet diagonally. Now you can look and see how this is 35 feet, right?
Yeah.
But why is that 35 feet? And this is 35 feet. Wait, 35 feet? Like that's still it's still 30 feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm this far away, it's still 30 feet. But
Hey then.
Anyway, so you lose, I think it's almost 2 feet. I think it's 2.7 feet or 2.07, something like that. I don't know, I can't remember. Ryan told me again the other day. I can't remember. Somebody told me again the other day. But yeah, I can't remember again. But yeah, you lose them on a square thing. Whereas if your grid was a hex grid, you're gonna have to put it. But whereas if your grid was a hex grid, it'd be more accurate, anyways.
So when using the ruler, if you press Alt, does that let you determine the line of it without it snapping to the grid as well, or?
I just go over here and go to no snapping.
Where?
So over on this toolbar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Go to no snapping, then you can just look around and do whatever.
And something I was the reason I asked this is because I was thinking about switching to a hex for the main reason of not just what you're showing, but also because of directional movement. It's a little bit easier to track corner wise if you're using a hex, I think.
Well, I thought that my map was going to be way off, but it actually looks like it's pretty dead on for the hex. I thought my hexes were going to be off, but it looks like it's
that's
close.
good.
Pretty close
that's
to what
good,
I wanted.
then.
So yeah, I'm going to actually get rid of the grid, and I'm going to go to export, which is my next thing, and then
put it in Roll20.
The resolution for pixels are so you can do HD export, which is experimental, but I don't do that. I haven't done that yet, anyways. I might do it for if I was going to sell it as the map pack, perhaps. But this is plenty good for the virtual tabletop, because you don't want too high definition for it because of the amount of memory it takes and such. And then once I get them in JPEG form here, you can also export them as other things, I think. But once I get them in JPEG form, I can switch them to PNGs or TIFFs or whatever.
I think one of the most important things.
High definition and then change them to JPEGs or whatever.
I think one of the important things to note here too is it depends on the tabletop you're using, right? If you're using Foundry, for example, Foundry can either run off a server that you pay for, or if you know what you're doing, you can run it off your own computer if you have enough storage space and RAM and whatnot.
True.
That's one reason I wanted to upgrade my computer, is because I wanted to get bigger hard drives at some point, so I can actually switch over to Foundry, because Foundry has a lot, and it's pretty much one-time payment of $50 and you get everything.
Yep. I've thought about using Foundry, but Roll20's treated me pretty well, so
that's kind of the only reason I haven't switched to Foundry yet. But I want to experiment with it at least, because it's similar to D&D, right? I want to open myself up to other options and see what there are. That's why third-party content exists. What's out there that Wizards of the Coast hasn't made official content? And sometimes, as sad as it is to say, third-party content, well, yes, sometimes it can be horribly balanced. The ones I found are often better balanced than Wizards of the Coast own stuff.
Yeah, this here right here is the map I did for the Village of Aranoat. But basically, this is all farm field in here, inside these areas.
Yeah, it's like corn and whatnot.
These are basically a circle of huts, and another circle of huts, and another circle of huts, and each little circle of huts is basically a community unto itself.
Yeah.
And they're different clans. So there's eagle, jaguar, elk, and turtle.
Is the big thing in the middle like a pyramid, or what's that?
Yeah, it's like a little ziggurat type of thing. It's a pyramid in Incarnate, but it's basically like a little ziggurat, and they have an obelisk on top of it with like a bell on top, and it's kind of their meeting area.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I did.
What's the thing all the way at the top?
That is a huge wall. Actually, let me move to this map here. If you look at this map that I made, the one of the island,
Yeah.
you can see there's a huge wall right here. Well, right here. Shoot, the wrong thing. Sorry, right here. And this is the village behind that wall. The wall is like X amount of hundreds of feet long, or maybe a mile long, or something like that. Hang on.
So why is there a wall there?
To keep the rest of the island away from the village, basically.
Oh, but
actually, there's a bunch of little villages. There's this village here. There's one down here. Hang on.
But can't things swim?
Some things can, yeah. But the giant wall helps keep some large things out that don't really do a lot of swimming.
Ah, fair.
In this case, things like T-Rexes.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Schultz has dinosaurs on it.
This one does, yeah. This area for sure. The party, of course, they know they're in Schultz, so like metagaming wise, they might know there's dinosaurs. But the party has
character-wise, they don't.
Character-wise, the party has only heard of giant monsters that live in the jungle, and these characters are not from this jungle, so they're like, they have no idea. They just woke up dead here, basically. Like, they were dead.
Nice.
But yeah, that tower, that wall is like 70 feet tall and just forever wide. It's like, holy crap. I think it's like 2 miles wide, really, but I can't remember. Well, if this hex here is right, I think the hexes are like
a mile long each, if I'm not mistaken, right?
3 miles, so it's probably about 2 miles. It probably is 2 miles, but it says 3 miles on here, so it might be 3 miles here.
Okay.
But yeah, it's big.
I like that. I actually eventually might run something in Schultz, because one of the players I have play for me constantly, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, is a dinosaur nut.
Yeah. Well, this here is a double gatehouse.
That's what I was asking about. What was that?
There's a giant, gate here, like an open gate type thing here. Like, think Jurassic Park gate, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another one right here. So you have to go through 2 giant gates in order to get into the village route.
That's actually good, because it means if one gate fails, you still have another to be able to rebuild real quick.
Well, plus it creates a kill zone right here.
Yeah, just fuck you.
So, all right. So I gotta go. We're gonna end the stream now. So I will talk.
It was a pleasure talking to you, man. Yeah, it was a pleasure talking.
And everybody else, if you watch us, hope you like it.
Yeah, definitely. I loved it. It was cool.
Right,
you might, if I catch you streaming more, I'll probably join more often.
All right, yeah, and feel free to join us in the audience. Maybe we'll figure out a way to get you in the Discord too. So, all right, talk to you later.